Hello, I'm very excited to be here with Leigh Meadows today. Leigh is the founder of the company The Smart Hanger, and she really has a success story to tell. So Leigh, why don't you tell us a little bit how everything started?
Sure. It was about nearly 3 years ago now, and I was cleaning up with my son, getting ready to go back to school, and I had amassed a rat's nest of metal hangers that I needed to do something with. And I threw them in the garbage, and my little environmentalist went crazy. "Mom, you can't throw them away, you can't throw them away, you have to recycle them." So we had to have a conversation about the reality of recycling metal and plastic hangers, which is you can't. And he looked at me so innocently and just said, "Well, why don't you make them out of paper?" And at the time it was, "Oh, he's so cute, he's so smart," you know, pat him on the head, and that was that. But a couple of weeks later I woke up thinking about it, and then I thought, oh, I don't know, maybe there's something in that. I did some research, and it became clear very quickly that it was possible and a great thing to do from an environmental standpoint.
So Leigh, what are some of your greatest challenges with your hangers having them manufactured in North America?
Well, there's two really that immediately come to mind, and the first one is price. That's the biggest challenge, and the second one's commitment. Industry say they are committed to supporting environmental products or products that have a positive impact environmentally, but they're only prepared to do that at a certain price. And labour is expensive here compared to many other countries. It's not so much material cost in my particular product, it's not a material cost issue, but labour cost issue is huge. And you need to be able to make it so that people will buy it, because otherwise,
of course,
you have nothing.
And so you have a manufacturer now in Brampton?
Yes.
And you also made the decision to manufacture in China, is this right?
Yes, we needed to have both offerings because there are some companies that are committed sufficiently to the environment and to North America to pay the extra, and we want to be able to service those because ideally it would all be made here. It would all support our local economy. So we wanted, but we needed to have both offerings because there are many companies that can't or choose not to pay the extra that you need. And because this company comes from an environmental place, the intention is to make a difference. So I need to cover as many people as possible to get as much metal and plastic out of landfill as possible. So I needed to have both offerings. And there is a second piece to imported pre-hung clothing. That's really important for us to cover that because the imported pre-hung clothing is an enormous contributor of metal and plastic to landfill. So I have to get the clothing pre-hung on my hanger before it even enters the country. And I didn't want to ship it from here over to wherever the clothing's made, because from a carbon footprint perspective that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
So I needed to cover all options.
What would you say, how environmentally friendly is North America?
I think it wants to be, but I don't really think the reality is that we are particularly good at supporting environmental actions.
So what do you think is missing?
A lot of education. I think people just don't realise. I mean, certainly with my business, whenever I talk to new people about hangers and where they end up, they're shocked. They have no idea. And that's either because they haven't been educated or they've chosen not to educate themselves. Like, it's easy to walk around and not think about things. So I think people would like to be, but they're not using the energy and the effort to really open their eyes and get involved from a grassroots level. Because if they just gave it a little bit of thought, they'd realise the impact that it's having. So I would say not actually, I don't think North America's doing that well.
Okay. So what do you want industry leaders in North America to consider for the well-being and wealth of our society?
I want them to consider educating consumers a little bit more. Industry is actually doing a lot of really great things, but nobody knows what they're doing. So I want them to lead by inspiring. I want them to lead the way by educating people. If you show people what you're doing, even if it's a small thing, if you show people what you're doing, it's like holding their hand. And then they're not doing it alone, and then they'll be inspired to do their little bit too. So I want industry leaders to inspire their consumers to do something.
So Leigh, is Jacob here today? Is it possible that we meet him?
He's definitely here, and he would love it because he owns this project. It was his idea. Come on.
Hey Jacob.
Stand there next to me. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, so great to meet you. So Jacob, your mom told me that you always look at products and that it's very important for you where the product is made. Why?
Because kids in the world, if there's dangerous ingredients in the products, it's not good for the kids to be around it.
That's a very good point. When you buy toys, you look where it's made?
Yes,
And where is it usually made? Do you know that?
usually China.
China. So what would you like to see here?
Where do you want to buy your stuff from? Where do you want it made?
Canada.
Canada? Very good. I wish more people would think like you. Leigh, what is one message you would like to leave young people with today?
I'd like to say to them that, you can be anything that you want to be. You can have anything that you want, and you can make a change. You just need to have courage, determination, work hard, and the world is your oyster, and you can do it. You can have anything that you want in your life.
That is such a great message. Leigh, Jacob, thank you so much for your insights and for your time. Always remember, excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. And I will see you next week again. Until then, be the best you can be.